Good evening and welcome again back to the channel. So I just had a thought. Those that perhaps don't realise this, but whether you've been to Benidorm or not, and the Macmaster made a comment in one of his videos, basically by saying that when people think of Benidorm, they think, oh, it's Blackpool in the sun. Perhaps because of all the bars, all the hotels, etc., and the lights that you get along the promenade, etc. Well, if you notice it on the map, if you look on Google Maps on your own computers or on your phones, or if you've been yourself, you'll notice that Benidorm is divided into three parts. So you've got the Poniente side and Finstrat, so Poniente, Finstrat side. You then come down to the middle and you've got the Old Town. So that's Tapas Alley, Sherry's Bar, the Dove Park, the Balcony, Placa de Castel, the Viewpoint, etc. And then you move to the right of that and you've got the Levante side. So people that want a more party atmosphere and British bars, etc., and obviously a long beach, in other words, the noisy part of Benidorm, like the clubs and pubs, etc., and for dancing and whatever, then the Levante side is obviously for the British primarily. A lot of British and Irish go to that side. Not that other nationalities don't, because they do, but it's very popular with the Brits. If you want a quiet holiday, then whether you go with TUI or Jet2 or EasyJet, whichever holiday company you go with, or Ryanair, because they all fly to Alicante. If you want a more quieter holiday, then you go to the Poniente side. And a lot of Spanish go to that side. And it is more Spanish, that side, actually. If you want a more traditional Spanish type of holiday over in Benidorm, then you can stay in the Old Town or in hotels surrounding the Old Town. Because then you can go to Tapas Alley, and there's places where you can get paella, and it's traditional Spanish, isn't it, really? So you can get your sangria, your San Miguel's, etc. So if you want a more traditional Spanish type of holiday, then you go to the Old Town. For a quiet type of holiday, you go to the Poniente side. If you want a more club and party atmosphere and fish and chips and stuff like that, British stuff, you go to the Levante side, and it's more noisy as well. And I noticed that when I went last year for my first time in 30 odd years, because the last time I went I was 4 years old in 1988, well 5 years old. That's when I went on my first ever holiday to Benidorm, my mum and dad and my brother. And we stayed at the Flamingo Apartments, which is now called the Sandos Benidorm Suites. And I think that's a Jet2 hotel. And we were on the 12th floor. And I remember putting the picture up on social media, and we've still got the photograph, the postcard with it on. And we were on the 12th floor. We went in December from East Midlands, and it was on Britannia Airways, which then became Thomson Airways, which is now TUI. But again, you see, as a child, I wouldn't really remember Benidorm. So when I went last year, which was the first time in 30 odd years, I obviously stayed at the Sol Pelicanos because of the Benidorm series. And it was like being on set, especially around the pool area. It was beautiful. Trust me, it was beautiful. And of course, I went to Mateo's bar, got to meet Darren Litton, who wrote the show, and Chrissy Rock, and I got to meet Sean Foster Connolly. I had photographs with all of them. I got Darren's autograph. It was lovely. But I did feel that when I went back to Benidorm in March of this year, and I stayed down the Poniente side, I actually preferred that end. I mean, I did go down to the Levante side, but I felt, there was an atmosphere. It was all right going down there in the afternoon or early morning, but then towards the evening time, it started getting a bit rowdy. And I tell you what, once I got to the Old Town, it became very quiet, and I thought, I actually prefer this. So obviously I'm going back again next week, and I'm staying practically in the centre. So I've got the Levante side, the Old Town, and the Poniente. So I'm kind of in the middle. So I've probably got a 20-minute walk either side to go to either of them. I will go down to the Levante side, probably late on the afternoon of arrival, and then I'll get back up to the Old Town by evening time. I'll probably walk the promenade rather than go through the back streets. I'll go up the promenade after I go out of Mateo's bar after having a drink and seeing whoever's in there. Who knows, I might meet Darren, might meet Chrissy Rock, might meet other celebrities, and if I do, I will make sure they're on camera. I'll make sure I get a photograph with them and selfies, etc. But I will go back along the Levante promenade and then I'll remain down the old town and that area for the couple of days I've got left, because I'm only going for 3 nights. I'm only going for a couple of nights, obviously, as I've said. So, but that's one thing you've got to understand about Benidorm, that if you want the party atmosphere, you go to the Levante side. If you want the quiet holiday, you go to the Poniente side. If you want a more Spanish area, go to the old town. Because the Poniente end, you're in the old town within 15-20 minute walk, and the same if you stay the other end. It is quite a walk along the promenade, but it is nice to walk along there, and there's plenty of bars you can go in. You can go on the sandy beach, and there's plenty of seats to sit down and just take in the atmosphere. If you prefer that, then that's up to you. I mean, there's easy access to Calpe on boat trips. There's easy access to Altea on a bus, €1.60 or €1.70 each way. You've got Mundamar Animal Park, you've got Terra Natura Zoo, you've got Terra Mythica, which is a water park and a theme park as well. Obviously, you do trips to Guadalest, the waterfalls of Algar. The waterfalls of Algar, it's beautiful. Guadalest is beautiful. So there's plenty of places to go. But that just gives you an idea of what actual Benidorm Costa Blanca is like, that area. And of course, you can stay in Alicante as well if you preferred that. And you can get the tram and train from Benidorm, and it takes you to Calpe, Altea, Valencia, which is where they've had the floods. You can go to Alicante. So the weather's still looking good for over there next week. It's looking 23 degrees, 24 in Alicante on Tuesday. So it's going to be sunny. Here we're due to have some frost, maybe a bit of snow. It's going to get to -1 and 2 degrees. So I'm actually going to be glad to get away from it for a couple of days. And again, there'll be lots of footage, lots of photographs. So please subscribe at Carlsmith25 on the channel. So I will see you guys in the next video. But I just thought I'd share this information. So thank you for watching, and good evening.